everybody, and welcome back to Survival with Fix. We are starting a new building over here in Steelport, and I'm very excited about it because, you know, I haven't been here in some time, and I do plan on bouncing around in this series from the different kingdoms and different ideas that we have, and I have an idea for this Nether Wart farm that I think is going to be a pretty cool idea. I am, again, being inspired by the game Anno 1800, which I just find to be an absolutely astonishingly beautiful game, and I'm very, very excited about it. Now, I have this opening facade down here. We're going to be going with kind of a light brown sandstone, maybe similar to that up there, maybe like sand and sandstone sort of combination up here. But I want to have the white sort of on the bottom because so many of this style of building has this bottom nicer facade, and then as it goes up, it kind of loses that a little bit. Now, here's one of the things I'm thinking about right away is I'm thinking about I don't love the space that is in between every building. Like if you take a look in between all the buildings, there is alleyways or space, except for I guess this one, but then even this one kind of has space, and I don't know that that's how buildings are in cities. It seems like a lot of them are really like totally connected. You know, yeah, there's of course alleys, but yeah, like this building, that's, I don't know. I want to try to touch these buildings kind of together. Like this is a big space here because the land sort of goes up. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what to do. I think I do want to kind of connect this building with this one over here. So what I might end up doing is bringing like a porch out here. Like maybe counting this as one, two, three. Let's do 5 total. And then we're just going to come out and basically touch this building right there. Okay. We're going to touch it like that. And this will be maybe a little like just addition, maybe for storage or whatever, doesn't even really need a function. I just want to have it connected so you can't walk through the buildings. Because again, I want to give that very urban, very city vibe here. I got the outskirts of the building laid out, and I need to collect a little bit of wood. I'm basically out of wood in my entire world, so I need to actually spend some time chopping trees. Would that be a good live stream? Should I do that one morning or one late night, or just chop down a whole ton of spruce and dark oak trees, which is really what I need primarily, I guess oak as well. Regardless of all that, I am working, but let me tell you, it is really hard for me to hold my hand on my mouse right now because I am shaking. I just got done with a workout. Things are going really, really well on that front of life. I am now down to 226, which is awesome. Like I started the new year, and this is only a couple days after New Year. I started the new year at 229, so I'm down another 3 pounds, feeling really good. I'm lifting a lot heavier now, not a lot heavier, but I'm squatting 200 now, which is really nice. I squatted 200 for 5x5, and again, I'm going incremental. I could probably squat more, but I'm really making sure that I only add 5 pounds per workout until I reach failure point, and that at that point I will just endeavor to add either a single pound or a single rep per workout. But right now, I'm just going progressive, 5 extra pounds. So I hit 200 today. That was really good. Bench pressing, I think 105 today. Again, going progressive. Bench pressing, I'm only adding 2.5 pounds per workout, not 5. So obviously, you hit your cap bench pressing a lot faster than you hit your cap squatting. So I got to take it easy with that and make sure I can get to sort of the end. But over here, you can kind of see all of that stuff. It's working pretty well. Oh, baby zombies. Let's go sleep then. You know, I find that staying on a sort of regiment of eating smartly and working out and all that kind of stuff can be difficult if it's not sort of in the forefront of your brain. And I think that's why probably a lot of New Year's resolutions fail is, you know, not that this is necessarily a New Year's resolution. I'm on day 52 right now of consecutive eating right and working out streaks. You're not working out every single day, but like eating right, basically, streaks, and then working out according to my schedule. But I think that one of the things that we can do as human beings is to really work towards keeping things sort of in the forefront of our brains. And one of the ways that I have found to be very successful doing that is by using audiobooks or reading books whenever I had time to do that, just to constantly sort of keep my mind there. Also, I find that logging food really helps. Now, I'm not a big subscriber to calories in, calories out thing, and that brings me to sort of the book club that I'm reading right now. I'm reading this book by Gary Taubes, which I read probably 15 years ago, and I really liked, and I wanted to go back and read it again, so I just bought the audiobook, and I'm listening to it while I grind. It's called Why We Get Fat, and what I love about it is Gary Taubes is not an exercise guru, or he's not pushing his thing. He's an investigative reporter who's actually investigated lots of things, not just health-wise. He's done a lot of other, like, political things and all that kind of stuff, and his big thing is he looks at facts. He looks at, like, just breaks down a mountain of evidence and says, hey, here's what I find with the facts. And in that, he has found some real problems with sort of conventional wisdom that maybe wasn't really supported in the facts, wasn't supported in studies, things like that. So if you're looking for a book to read from a really, I would say unbiased source, but it's not really unbiased because he has come to conclusions on it. But from when he started, he was unbiased. Like, he wasn't trying to promote, push a Mediterranean diet or a vegetarian or the caveman diet. He just went in and looked at the facts and drew some conclusions. If you're looking for a good book, Gary Taubes' Why We Get Fat is a really great one. And I just find by reading it, it kind of keeps your mind in the right place as far as, eating healthy for a lifetime, not just for a diet and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, check it out. I think you'd really enjoy it. So that's what I'm listening to anyway. Would you mind leaving me? Are you reading? Are you listening to books? I mean, do y'all Audible as much as I do? Because I'm kind of like the Audible king right now. That's all I do basically. But yeah, let me know. I'd love to see in the comments down there what y'all are into right now. Done quite a bit of building here, just getting this done. Now, I did get a comment, and I don't remember who, I'm sorry, last episode that said, hey, show more building on camera, time-lapse or whatever. Yeah, I will endeavor to do that. There are just going to be some things that are just so slow and difficult to show while building. It's just a little easier to see sort of the progress this way than trying a time-lapse, because a time-lapse would be like an infinite amount of footage and breaks and all that kind of stuff, because, again, I often play Minecraft in, like, 15-minute segments, sort of when I can. I don't generally sit down for like a couple hours and play, so recording a time lapse is a little bit difficult. But I did get basically the first floor sort of outline done. It looks, I think, pretty nice. And then I have the second floor idea that I think is going to work pretty well. I don't really have plans to use the second floor for anything. I just wanted this to, again, look like a city, so it's got to be kind of tall, Let's take a look at a cinematic here. Okay, some things I like and some things I don't like. I really like the shape of the roof. I think it's a really interesting thing, and I really like sort of the walkway that's elevated. I kind of am not sure about the color palette, though, of the walkway, because it's the same as the roads. One important thing to do is to break up big, boring roof lines, especially when you're building a lot of buildings that are like this big. Look, there's someone in there. What the heck? What's he doing? Got a couple employees in that room. Looks like I'm gonna have to light that place up, or else my mob farm will be a little bit less effective. Yeah, that's got to become something at some point too, but that's okay. We'll get there all in good time. So here's what we have thus far. I really like it. I really like where we're at here. Let's chop up here to the old iron farm 2 and check it out. Okay, so I think it's good. I like that this one thing has trim to really set it apart, but then not the other side. I think that actually helps. And the outside has this sort of kind of almost gothic looking railing. I think that's also a good bit. This is going to be a balcony, and I'm probably going to do an extended roof that's going to come down a little bit over at least parts of it. I just haven't yet decided exactly how I want that to look yet. But then in the middle here, we're going to do some sort of tower. I don't know if I want to do a clock tower. I kind of do. I kind of do want to do a clock tower here. I'm not sure if it's big enough yet or not. And it is an even number, which makes it a little bit awkward to do a circle like that, but maybe we'll do a clock tower if I can work it out. Regardless of that, if I'm going to do a clock tower, I'm going to need this tower to come up a good bit. It's going to have to come up about this high. Who's making all that noise? Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Give me your iron. Hey, how's this? Yeah, wow. This is just in an absolute constant state of full. I really need to at least make this a double chest at some point. Sent me some more information on the Avon and these 4 sects that they've decided to break their society into. I'm going to read them into the record. This culture is so interesting and deep, I'm thoroughly enjoying learning about them. The 4 sects of their society are warriors, growers, gophos, and quavos. The gophos are members of the court, kind of their version of royalty, and behave much as one might expect. The quavos, though, are religious zealots. This is a little different. They enforce the rules of 4 to an extreme and sometimes deadly end. If a family has a third child, thus turning their foursome into a quintet, they must choose one child to leave their family. I'll be honest, reading this, I was taken aback at how casually the author of the Book of the Abon described their families deciding to give up a new baby, or the middle child, or the firstborn warrior. It seems many times one of the parents would even choose to leave their family, breaking contact forever. Though the Abon have become allies and even friends, this is a hard pill to swallow for me. I believe each culture should behave according to their own guiding principles, but this just seems so very brutal. Small little clock to the place, and I think it looks really good. I like it a lot. I think one thing that I really want to do is just break up a little bit of this brown with some more of the white, and I was just looking at it and looking at some different options that I have, and I didn't fall immediately in love with any of those options, but I remembered that these diorite walls are like the regular diorite. I thought, well, you know, maybe what I should do is use the regular diorite to kind of break up, give a little bit of a color contrast to what's going on with sort of the the bulk of this, whatever. And I want to try this little design and see how we like it. It could either be there, or if I wanted to, I could even put it there. Yeah, I think this is a little bit too big, so I think probably the right is going to be there. I think that's not bad. Now, the thing is, I don't think I'm going to want to do it to every single window. So if I did it to this one too over here, then that would be basically every other window. And I think that's probably the right amount. Like every other window, I feel like is just going to give enough of the sort of interest there to break up just the wall of dirt, if you will. Well, I mean, not if you will. It literally is a wall of dirt. Yeah, that does add a lot, and I think not having it on every one would actually help. Now, the other thing that we could do is we could use some wooden trap doors as kind of shutters, or decorative shutters in this case, of course, because I don't think an office building like this would necessarily close the shutters, but let's grab some and just see if we can come up with a nice design that's going to look, I don't know, I don't want it to totally blend in, you know, I don't want it to totally blend in. I don't know if like dark would be better, definitely not mangrove. Maybe spruce. I don't know. I use spruce for basically everything, so we could try spruce, maybe. Well, progress is continuing pretty well down here. I have the bell tower all done, and I have just a little bit of sort of detail. I don't want to go overboard. You know, the style is supposed to be fairly plain, so I did that little sort of stairway going across there. I think that's probably a good amount over there. Now, the one thing that I wish that I had is I wish I had a lot of rooted dirt. You see, I have the entirety of all of my rooted dirt in this entire world right there, and it's 4, and that's not enough to do really anything. So I want to collect some rooted dirt. The other thing I actually need, I'm pretty much out of oak. Unfortunately, I just have basically no oak wood. It's kind of a pain to harvest. I think that's probably why. Regardless, I think it's time to do some, harvesting of azalea trees, which, is anyone else a little bit annoyed that azalea doesn't have its own wood type? I'm a little bit annoyed by that still. I know it's been a couple years, but there's part of me that's still like, hey, what the heck, man? Like, it's a different tree. It shouldn't have oak. Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. Now, down the road, I do want to do an automatic rooted dirt farm. I have looked very quickly to see a tutorial that I think will probably work really well, but unfortunately, I don't want to do that now. It's just, that would be a huge build because I would actually need a bone meal farm as well. And yeah, if I'm doing a bone meal farm as well, I'm probably going to want to actually like take some time to really do both. And I think where I would put that, probably since it's a rooted dirt farm, is probably in the ancient city. I think that'd be a good reason to go to the ancient city. So for right now, we're just going to harvest some manually here. I'd like to get a stack. I think if I got a stack, I could pepper in just a little bit of rooted dirt over there, and that's just going to help. Well, it'd be a little bit less plain. Right now, it's just a mixture of dirt and coarse dirt, and I think having a little bit of rooted dirt in patches might look just a lot better. Just really break up the dirt texture with a different kind of dirt. You know, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Regardless, I'm going to do this manually for right now, and then I'll come back after I get a stack of that, and we'll see what we can do. Plus, you know, hopefully I'll get a bunch of oak as well. That would be kind of cool. So this is kind of annoying, and I know that I'm going to make a rooted dirt farm in the future, but that may be a while down the road because I have other plans I really want to get to first. So I don't know what episode the rooted dirt farm is going to come out. So I think for right now, I got to come up with a little bit of a better system for how I'm growing these, because right now this is not ideal. So even after I go up like this, then I still have to use like my hoe, which is cool because I'm getting lots of leaves and stuff, but man, it is just super time consuming. So I have an idea of a manual farm that I think might actually work for this like better, a little bit better anyway. It's still going to be manually cutting this down, manually shearing some leaves, all that kind of stuff. But I don't mind getting some of the leaves. I just don't want to be here for like an hour just to get, one stack of rooted dirt until I build that farm. So I have an idea. Let me kill this dude and work out the plans. I'll show you what I'm kind of coming up with in my head. I am going to get to building that manual farm here shortly, but first I thought maybe we should come over here and get a bunch of pointed dripstone all harvested, because I think that I'm going to be able to use this dripstone block as a bit of a more gradient into this current build. I hope this is the right way. I have not harvested this in a while. I don't think it's like vines. I think you get all of them if you just break it at like the topmost point, or well, nearly the topmost point, because I do want it to grow again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this works, right? Does this work? I think it does. Anyway, after I get a bunch of dripstone, and now I have my one stack, my one singular stack of rooted dirt, I'm going to go over here and try to texture that building just a little bit more, and just see if I can bring in a little bit more interest to the sort of solid walls of brown, because it's a little much, to be totally honest. It's not as interesting as what I would like this new building to be. It's just a little blah. Yeah, and this is why I don't really think it's necessary to have a pointed dripstone farm anytime really soon. Just one singular harvest, and I got like just a little over 2 stacks of dripstone blocks. So that's not too bad, and that's going to grow just while I'm doing other things here. So yeah, eventually we'll do like a piston growth sort of situation, stuff like that. But I don't know if it's necessary right now, to be honest. So here's what I want to try. Actually, here's what I want to try. I want to put this here. This might work, actually. This might be kind of nice. I'm going to put this sort of under, like in the bottoms. Not really necessarily a set gradient, but like I think I'm going to use it in most of the bottoms sort of coming up this way. I think it's going to give it a nice look, and I have a lot of it, actually. I mean, I have like 9 stacks of dripstone, so that's not bad. And then what I'll do is up here at the top, I'll start feathering in more of the rooted dirt, just to give it that little bit of a lift upwards. And then I might actually end up doing this on every layer, like do it here and then go up to the second floor and do the exact same thing again. So instead of one gradient from top to bottom, it's going to be sort of each floor will be kind of its own gradient. I think that'll work. I think if it doesn't work, we'll just get rid of it. But I feel pretty good about it here. Something like that, and then we'll just come up here and something like this, like not in an absolute set pattern, something like this. Let's just back up and take a look at this and see. Yeah, I mean that's not terrible, right? I mean it's not bad. It sort of flows. It sort of works together. Yeah, I can live with that. I think it's going to give it a little bit of just a little bit of an aged look, which I think is definitely cool. I guess if I'm going to do an azalea dirt farm here, I guess beside the moss farm seems to make the most sense. And this is going to be its own building at some point, probably a little tiny one. So we don't have to give that much space. So I think what I'll do is I'll make rows of 32. I don't know exactly why. I like the round number bit. I guess that's it. So let's just do regular dirt for about 32. See if it fits. If it doesn't fit, we will rethink. But I think this should work. As it turns out, I'm an idiot. I forgot things that I should know. Azalea trees don't grow by themselves. So I was thinking, well, let's just plant them, not run through all my bone meal, right? I'll just plant them in a big long row, let them all grow over time, and then I'll harvest them like this and just get tons of rooted dirt. But I forgot that they will never grow unless you bone meal them. They're a manual plant. They're a little different than saplings. Oh, boo for that. So yeah, unfortunately, I got one row here, and I'm not going to harvest any more for right now. I'm just a little bit sad about it. All right, well, yeah. We'll do an automated one at some point. You probably saw this coming like a freight train coming down the highway, and I did not. I did not see it coming at all. Oh, well. I've been working on inside here, trying to come up with a bit of a simple design that I think is going to be kind of cool. And I like to see the workings, you know. I think it's going to be kind of fun to have all the nether root up here, nether wart up here, and then just drop it into these. So basically, instead of just use one rail cart for all of them or 8, I sort of compromised and used 4. They'll go up and back because you get a lot of nether wart with each harvest. And I was thinking that, you know, I don't want to plug up the thing because it is going to be manual. I'm going to like press the button to go harvest it. So I thought that probably 1 cart for every 2 rows is probably about the right number. Maybe it's overkill, but whatever. I can live with that. The other thing I want to do is I want to make this look kind of nice. So I'm going to be using dark oak and spruce, of course, trying to continue the 4 theme that I have otherwise here and just see if I can come up with, I don't know, some sort of decent sort of industrial look. I think this is going to look cool, but we'll just go wood on the outside because, again, I'll be harvesting this with my fortune pickaxe. That's why I didn't want to go automatic. I didn't want to go water flushing system or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that it was very manual because I want to use my fortune and get absolute maximum returns because I'm not going to harvest this all that often. When I do, I want to get a whole bunch. I think I get around 9 stacks of nether wart per harvest. Although I think that was when I had actually less. So maybe I'll even get more. I'm not even sure. But yeah, I'm psyched about this. I think this is going to be a really, really nice little manual farm to have, and probably the only nether wart farm I'll ever really need, honestly. Oh, yes, the rain. I'm very happy with the way this looks. I like that you can sort of see the tracks underneath. I always think that's kind of cool, you know. And then over here, basically, after I go through with the... I need some stairs over here. Oh, I do have stairs? I do. Okay, let's do some stairs right there. And so what you'll do is you'll go through here with the hoe or, fortune, whatever, and get them all up. And then you just come over here. You just press all these buttons. And if you only did one side, you can just do that, and that will bring it all up, and then it'll drop it all in here. So I think this is going to work really well. I haven't actually tested it yet, but I mean, I can't possibly see how it could go wrong. I mean, once the hopper minecart get back here, they're just going to come back there and just sit there until you press the button again. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. My 5-year-old started saying that. I have no idea where he got it, but it has caught on in the family, and now that is one of our going catchphrases. Up here, I don't have anything yet. This may end up being like storage room. I do want to spend some time down the road someday on really digging into interior design, really making all these buildings super immersive. So like when you walk in, it looks, really good and all that kind of stuff. But I think we're in a great place for this build. I feel like it's a pretty nice factory, a nice addition to Steelport, and probably ready to move on, excuse me, to the next project. Let's get the viewer question or comment of the day from the last episode. So our good friend Iondas, who is a great YouTuber and streamer, if you're looking for some Minecraft content, it's really great. You can check out her name on YouTube and find it very quickly. I love your opening song so much. Such great vibes. The new textures for the moon are amazing too. What a cool pack. As far as working out, my main goal is to get under 200 pounds this year. 175 would probably be the idea. I've been doing 5 to 10 miles on my elliptical every day. That's a lot. That's a lot of miles. And loving the way my mood has been. I normally worked out pretty regularly before the holidays, so it's nice to be back in the groove. Yeah, that's like a sort of secondary nice thing about working out, right? Is like the way your sort of mood and mindset changes. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I really started. In addition to just wanting to, dip down below, where I was before, is I just wanted to sort of improve my general mood and outlook on life, and it really has in a lot of ways. It's let me take some of my sort of annoyances and frustrations that build up in life and sort of put them into that. I'm on a just me thing. This isn't related to the comment or anyone else. I'm growing to be a little bit skeptical that exercise can influence weight loss. That's going to sound like blasphemy to everyone, probably. I mean, exercise is good for a whole lot of the reasons, right? It can make your heart feel better, or many things, right? I mean, it's good for so many things, but I'm very skeptical that like exercise, cardio in particular, has a deep influence on weight loss. From everything I continue to read and study about this, if you have been around the channel for a while, you know that at one point I had a personal training certification, and I did a lot of personal training on the side in addition to my music business, and those days have passed, but I still do have a lot of sort of pent-up knowledge from those days, and I really am growing to believe that diet is the singular driving force behind weight loss, and it's not like 50-50. I think it's like 98-2, you know, as far as percentages go. And the big thing that I have learned in my time studying all of this stuff, not as an expert, but as someone who reads a lot of books about all this kind of stuff, is I think that sort of the overall general feelings of conventional wisdom aren't exactly right. There's a big push for, you know, high carbs and healthy foods and healthy grains and all that kind of stuff. And I have not found that to be true in everything that I have actually read myself. So ever since I cut my carbohydrates basically down to essentially nothing, I have found weight loss to be incredibly easy. I'm losing about 2.5 to 3 pounds a week consistently with very, very little cardio. I walk. I do some weightlifting, but that's for really building muscle and doesn't have a lot to do with actually losing fat all that much. I mean, you know, a tiny percent muscle does burn fat, but it's an incredibly small number. So I've just found that keeping my diet in check and dropping all of those carbs, which basically turn into sugar in your body, you know, cutting sugar, cutting flour, cutting any wheat products, all that stuff, getting rid of all of that stuff has really made weight loss essentially effortless. Like, I mean, it's been not as fast as, you know, maybe I wish, but I think, you know, 2 or 3 pounds a week is probably the right number to let your skin sort of come back, and so you don't have a bunch of excess skin and all that kind of stuff, which is something I've been thinking about as I was, you know, I was about 270, and I would like to get down to about 170. So I could potentially have some excess skin to deal with. I don't really want to. So, you know, keeping that a slow loss is kind of important for that bit anyway. So I know you didn't sign up for a Minecraft video that talks about all that kind of stuff, but I really do think that, you know, it would behoove everyone to find some really good books about weight loss and that really follow the science and don't follow anecdotal evidence and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a big fan of Gary Taub's research. I think he has a really unbiased look at these things, whereas he's a journalist and not a science weight loss guy pushing his thing, and I think that's a really interesting way to go. Anyway, so yeah, that's, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess. To each their own, but for me, that's what works. So find something that works. Thank you so much for checking out another episode of Survival with Fix. I love this build, I love the expansion, and I cannot wait for next episode. I'm really having a great time with the series. I hope you are as well, and I'll see you all next time.